Hello everyone, Cat Goblin and Martin here, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing every single hazard and obstacle in Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights. Yeah, might as well review these too, but anyways, let's just get straight into the review. Alright, so let's start with the obvious. Falling into water or acid will result in an instant death. Well, you don't really die, you just respawn at the start or checkpoint, but you get the idea. The same results can happen if you fall off the balconies or cliffs, and into pits or abysses full of nothingness. Water areas are found in Smuggler's Cove and the Sea Cliffs, although there are these pools of water that can damage you in the third part of the basement, and of course there's the shark tank in the super secret lab. Acid is only found in the super secret lab, and pits are found pretty much everywhere.
Oh no! Oh no!
The next hazard is unstable floorboards, platforms, and bridges. When you stand on any of these three, it will shake and fall, leading to your doom. The floorboards are in Mystic Manor, platforms are found in Mystic Playground, the Hedge Maze, and Sea Cliffs. Bridges are in Smuggler's Cove and the Sea Cliffs. After when the bridges fold down, they will fold back out. It takes a while for bridges to drop, and platforms can respawn. It's really easy to spot these hazards, and you can even use them against aggressive enemies. Next set of hazards are swinging hooks, tree branches, and jack-o'-lanterns. These obstacles will swing in your way, and if they hit you, you get damaged, but you just have to time it right to get past them. The hooks are found in Smuggler's Cove, tree branches are in the Hedge Maze and Graveyard, and 2 jack-o'-lanterns appear in Gloom and Doom Down the Tomb, Part 1. Next, we have the Witch's Cauldron. It can only damage you if you touch it. They're found in the Hedge Maze, and in Creepy Crawlies in the Hallways Part 2, the cauldrons are bubbling, forcing you to be careful when grabbing the keys. Next up are these devil statues. They're found in the Hedge Maze, and a few do appear in a one-way trip to the Crypt Part 2. The statues stand in the background, and they will use their bow to fire a metal arrow straight ahead. They're pretty easy to dodge, and some of them take long to reload. The second devil statue is only found in On Edge in the Hedge Part 4. When riding on Shaggy's lawnmower, you'll see the statues on platforms. They will breathe out fire, and one even shoots out fire, but they are easy to avoid.
Look out, Scoob!
Next are thorns and thorn bushes. They're only found in the Hedge Maze. You will get hurt if you touch them, and at some parts, the thorns can instantly kill you. There's also this huge thorn ball and on edge in the hedge part 3, and when you get close it will roll. A really dangerous hazard is falling rocks. In Chills and Spills and Haunted Hill Part 3, a boulder will fall and roll down the side of the hill, but it's super easy to dodge. In Creepy Crawlies in the Hallways Part 1, 2 boulders will bounce all the way to the bottom at this part. Then, in Scared Stiff at Skull Cliff Part 2 and 4, the boulders just fall in these cracks. In Clamor in the Manor Part 3, there's this fireplace and a pit in front of it. The fireplace shoots out fire over the pit. You mainly get a box of Scooby Snacks there, but if you get hit, you will fall to your doom, and you will instantly die if you touch the fire in the fireplace. In Part 4 of Clamor in the Manor, we have 2 burning stoves. Now, touching it will instantly kill you, but luckily you can temporarily extinguish it with the sprinklers by standing on this pressure plate, and it is possible to snag the key and sandwich while they're on. Next, we have burning chandeliers, and they're found at parts in Mystic Manor. These chandeliers will raise up and down, but you can easily go around them to avoid getting hurt. And there's even this one that swings in the attic. Next are some wild barrels found in Panic in the Attic Part 4. When you get to the part with the stairs, there's a small gap up here that spawns in 2 bouncing barrels, followed by a 3rd barrel. The barrels are pretty easy to avoid, especially the 3rd one, and it's like Donkey Kong is throwing them or something. Now, in A Dark and Stormy Night Part 1, there is this moving storm cloud at the beginning. The cloud strikes lightning on these 3 puddles, so just don't walk on them, and even touching the cloud can damage you.
Right!
Also found in the same area are burning chimneys. The chimneys will shoot out fiery smoke that can instantly kill you, and don't even think about standing on them. In Part 2, you have to stand on a pressure plate to extinguish the fire in order to continue.
Right! Roll no! Roll no!
Moving platforms can be obstacles, but most of the time these platforms are quite slow and require you to wait. It's platforms that raise up and down, or those moving blocks in the graveyard that can pose a challenge. With these platforms, you gotta be quick, otherwise you'll fall to your doom. Then there's seesaw platforms. With these ones, you stand in the middle to avoid tilting the sides and falling. Next, we've got sinking rowboats and crates. In Smuggler's Cove, there's rowboats with water coming out of them. They will sink if you stand on them, but they will come back to the surface. The rowboats appear in Misbehaving Cause a Cave in Part 3, where they slowly sink without coming back up, while the water is rising. The gray boats are stable, but in Scared Stiff at Skull Cliff Part 4, they can tilt. And in Fear on the Pier Part 3, there are these crates that sink here like the rowboats. Next are some large crates that drop in Coast for Some Ghosts Part 2. On the stone walkway, the large crates drop down in a pattern, and if you get hit, well, you'll instantly die. Even when you stop the crates with the pressure button, you can still perish if you touch the bottom of the crates. Another thing to look out for is water that rises in Scared Stiff at Skull Cliff Part 4, Misbehaving Cause a Cave in Part 3, and Going Down Which Way Part 1. These parts force you to be quick. In the shipwrecks, you have to watch out for the tide and stand on dry rocks to avoid touching the water.
Buried treasure.
Next, we have the swinging axes. The small ones are in Creepy Crawlies in the Hallways Part 3, and the big ones are in Gusts Abound Underground Part 1. The swinging axes are pretty much like the hooks in tree branches, but there is one that moves slightly faster. In Creepy Crawlies in the Hallways Part 3, there's this bull's head statue that breathes out fire in 3 directions. The fire can instantly kill you, but you can stop the fire by collecting the 3 keys in the cages, and the fire pits there will damage you if you touch them.
Oh no!
In the last part of the basement, we have 2 moving dryers that can damage you, and that's pretty much it. Now it's on to the super secret lab, and in Little Lab of Horrors Part 1, the floor and table are electrified, and touching it can instantly kill you. The electric barrier there and the machines that shoot out electricity in the next 2 parts will damage you. So there you have it, those were all of the hazards and obstacles in the game. Some of them are pretty unique and they make the gameplay interesting. But anyways, please like and subscribe and I will see you all in the next review.
I ate a kitty like you once.